together. I'm ready for my next guest here, whether my team is ready. There he is. Oh, that Cory Pinegar.
Hey, it's been a minute.
Yeah, this is real life. We ate nachos and guac together. Forget about your company for a second. I have more people to talk about. You ate nachos at Alvez this week with Brandon and me. Did it live up to the hype? What'd you think of Alvez?
It was real. And so, hey, we're gonna get real here for a minute. Sour cream scares the daylights out of me. I'm not a big sour cream fan. And the nachos came out with sour cream, and I'm sitting there like, oh no. Oh no. But I had them, and they were probably some of the top nachos I've ever had because they're so thin.
And then you also
really
said
tasty.
One of the side dishes, which I always get for new guests at Alvez, the corn. You said you would basically put that on anything, eat it on its own, right?
Oh, I would eat that on my own. Oh, I'd fly that to me right now.
We'll see if Cabaret as well. It was really fun meeting you in person. Now we're back to kind of the normal online stuff. So Cory, just share with our Nachos audience, what do you do to make dentistry lives less stress? We had our guy up here, dentists and teams cry on the inside. What does Call Force do? Awesome sponsor to make dentists happier in teams.
Yeah, I think there's two things that we do to make a dentist's life easier. Dentists are the clinical director of their practice, which they are in the chair for 6 to 8 hours a day, and then they're also managing their team. Managing and staffing a team can be tough, as we all know, especially right now. So we make the staffing of that team easier. If you lose a team member, we help with your overflow calls. We can take care of your insurance verifications. We can call your unscheduled treatment and put it on your books.
That's awesome.
And then the second thing that we do is we help drive more revenue and hopefully more profit into your practice by optimizing the seats so that you don't have open hygiene columns and that you don't have blocks in your schedule where there could be new patients or limited exams or existing patients that wanted to be there.
Yeah, let's break. I like all of that. And that's really it's phenomenal that being in 2021 has not been that easy. Maybe someone's watching this 10 years from now. If you're watching 10 years from now, it was very, very frustrating in 2020 and 2021. The whole pandemic has made things so challenging to run a dental practice where we just don't have as many people in our office. So let's just break down this topic, Cory. The overflow call answering. A dentist is saying, I got two people at the front desk. They're trying to answer the phone, doing this. How does Call Force come in from the side and help with that? What's that system look like?
Yeah, so we sit down with the dentist and we look at where they're missing their calls. And generally after 20 to 25 seconds of a phone ringing in a practice, we're going to say, hey, it's probably going to be best to forward to us at that point. At that point, it's going to roll over to our team. They can schedule into your practice management software. They can cancel appointments. And our goal isn't just to be an answering service where we're taking a message, but we're really getting patients on the schedule and giving them a amazing customer experience where they're walking away impressed.
And I want to share just from the most basic fundamental way of any generation of dentistry in the beginning. I've never had a front desk team member say, I'm so happy to answer 8 messages from lunch that I have to get back to. So the patient being helped in the moment is awesome service for the practice. They sometimes can just complete the circle of canceling the appointment or rescheduling, and then the patient feels valued. That's great. Now, insurance verification. Whether you are the most fee-for-service practice in the history of dentistry, whether you're someone who takes 90 insurances, including spoiled guac PPO, tell us about the insurance verification piece.
Yeah. So we just charge per verification that we do. So whether you want to send through 10 in a month or 330 in a month, you're just going to pay per one. So you're not agreeing to a substantial amount or a monthly minimum. We want to help you when you need help. And you can come and say, hey, take care of all new patients, or take care of all hygiene patients, or take care of all Blue Cross Blue Shield, because we have to call on every single one of those.
And that's so valuable to a dental practice owner like me, because there's been so many mismanaged expectations. Kira Den, who I love, is awesome. When expectations do not meet reality, people get frustrated. So when someone's sitting in the hygiene chair thinking their insurance is going to cover everything on their new patient visit, and maybe they didn't even give us the right card or the right information, I've been in situations where it creates friction. So when you can get out ahead of that and have a team do it, that's great. Now, this is still pandemic-infused earth and pandemic-infused dentistry. So I know many of us have overflowing hygiene schedules. However, let's just talk about the hygiene piece. Has always been exciting to me. What does your team do to book the hygiene for an office?
Yeah, so first of all, Paul, we call from 5 to 7:30 p.m. at night when people are home and they have the ability to actually take a phone call. So we're twice as likely to have our phone calls answered at that time. And then we are scheduling them straight into the columns. And what we're doing is, since these are overdue or broken hygiene appointments, we're trying to schedule them as soon as possible. 6 weeks out is great, but to be honest, they may or may not show. But if we have a broken appointment tomorrow at 11:30 and we can get them on the books because of that, we're going to give a big win for the practice. And usually, if we can get these patients to come in the practice, they're patients that need additional treatment beyond a hygiene appointment.
And this is where I want to pause and just share how profitable and patient-centered that is. Things have to be patient-centered first, profitable second. But when you have an opening, you need to fill it anyway. So even if you fill it with the healthiest mouth leather, you still get to clean that person's teeth. But more likely, there's going to be additional need-based work for them to do. I'm actually just curious. I've never actually asked you this before, Cory. When the patients get calls from 5 to 7:30, I know you listen to them, are some of them like, oh man, thanks for calling. I would have never made this appointment. Or I didn't know the team did this. I'm actually just curious. How does the patient respond to this other service who's not Sally or Jane calling them?
Mm-hmm. And we do everything to be a part of the practice. So we're calling from the practice's phone number. We know the insurances that are in and out of network. We know the schedule. So some people are like, oh, I haven't met you before. And we just say, hey, we're part of a team that works after hours to reach people when they actually have time to chat on the phone. The doctor's concerned about your hygiene health. And so it's something that we prioritize, reaching out to our patients after hours.
Yeah. And I think that's such a valuable thing. And also there's I just turned 44. I know you're younger than me, Cory, but like there's only a certain amount of energy everyone has through the daytime hours. So even, if you task your team member with doing this from 5 to 7, the energy is not going to be right. They're not going to want to do it. It's great to have, just like you keep my basketball analogy, call yourself like the sixth man. You come off the bench. You've been resting there all day. Vinny the Microwave Johnson, people watch basketball back in the 80s, Ron Anderson from the Sixers. And I just think that's cool that dental practices can add these adjunctive services by pretty much not doing anything other than connecting with you guys. So as we wrap up, Cory, we get someone to text in force to 215-543-6454. We move them from analysis paralysis to just finding out about Cory and call force. What happens at the demo? Who should be reaching out? The office manager, the dentist? Tell us about that.
Yeah, ideally it's the office manager or the dentist or both, because you each have interesting perspectives. Generally, talking to the dentist and the office manager, if not talking to the dentist directly, can work very well. But reach out to us. We're going to give you $200 of free service. We have no obligation. Nice. We have no contracts. We believe in providing value, or there should be no reason to keep us around.
I love that. So listen, dental people, you guys love this. No contracts, $200 in free service just for knowing me. That's pretty nice. And we've had dentists, calling you guys recently, setting up demos, because anything to do to reduce stress during this time is just a win. And the phone can just be a huge source of stress. So Cory, thanks for wearing the hat. Thanks for being you. Really appreciate it. You got to come back for Nachos soon.
Thanks, guys.
Talk to you later, Cory.